Defy me, will you, cursor? Off with you. Anyway, Ys I and II? Don't mind if I do. In any case, welcome to Where I Play Ys I and II Chronicles Plus. Now, our dude Adol has a bit of a reputation for shipwrecking everywhere, but only really happened once proper, and it was in this version of Ys I. I don't know where the rest of it came from, but it is true that travel doesn't always agree with him. The Shipwreck was not actually part of the original versions of Ys I and II. In fact, this entire village, all of the characters inside of it, and the Shipwreck event were all imports from the Ys I OVA series. This version of Ys I and II is based off of Ys I and II Complete, the remake of the games for the Windows PCs. This is also about when Falcom decided that Adol was the only person in the world who had red hair. He could have recovered those hit points a lot quicker if they let him outside. In case we're just going to poke around here and see what's up. There are some things we can get around here. Well, one rather necessary thing. But we'll just see what portents of Doom are residing around the island of Asteria. Yeah, the big framing device of Ys I and II is that they're basically the rediscovered and retranslated journals of a hero that lived over 1,000 years ago, Adol Christin, and this was the first adventure of his to be translated. It is in fact his first chronological adventure, so really, I think this may be the best place to start the Ys series. Okay, we can get a short sword from Sloth, but that requires us to talk to everybody in town, so I'm going to be doing that while I, explain the whole Ys thing. Ys I and II was originally developed for the NEC PC-8801, and Ys I and II were originally intended to be a single whole game. However, Falcom was a bit too ambitious with this projection, so they ended up having to split Ys I and II into two separate games. Ys I, Ancient Ys Vanished Omen, and Ys II, Ancient Ys Vanished The Final Chapter. Ys I was released in 1987 and Ys II in 1988, and it's probably the most widely ported action RPG ever made, as Ys I and II has been released in some form for the following platforms: the PC-8801, the PC-9801, the MSX2, the Sharp X1, the Fujitsu FM77AV, MS-DOS PCs, the Apple II GS, the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Sega Master System, the Sharp X68000, the TurboGrafx CD, the Sega Saturn, Windows PCs, the PlayStation 2, the Nintendo DS, and the PlayStation Portable. I think there are very few games that have been as widely ported. The only other ones that has probably been more ported that I can think of is Tetris, though there are probably more that I haven't thought of yet. That's locked, but I'll be showing you what's there later. Oh yeah, the storm wall also came from the Ys I OVAs. Ys I is the game in the pair that imported the most from the two OVA series that were released in the early 90s. Oh yeah, Pickards. Falcom's mascot. They're basically kind of a cross between a pig and a hamster. Okay, and that's all of the NPCs in Barbados, so time to get the free sword. Yeah, Adol came to Asteria because he heard the land was under a deep curse and he wanted to find out what was going on. Adol is a born adventurer and you know, can't really be tied down for any length of time. Okay, we've got ourselves a sword, and once we equip our sword, our sprite has a sword as well. It works a bit like Dragon Warriors, in that once you equip a weapon and shield, those show up on your sprite. And now the game's combat system. Ram into the enemies like a bumper car. Hit them off center, you'll be fine. I was not fine. Also, when you stand still in the outdoors or other certain safe places, Adol's health regenerates automatically. There's no attack button, you just slam Adol into an enemy and he does the rest. Though not in that way, obviously. Yeah, the walls we're circling are now the town of Minea, which is your actual starting point in the pre-complete versions of Ys I and II. And this only happens if you try to go north without going into Minea the first time. I wanted to show that off. Oh, okay. Okay, this one has a character portrait, which means she's probably important in some way or another. It's an East tradition. Oh, and this is the only time you can talk to Dr. Klaus if you want to fill in the NPC book. As with any adventuring, we must stop by the tavern for rumors and the like. So I guess thieving is a problem around here? Okay. One mysterious stranger. Portents of doom. Guys drinking. But let's see fortune teller Sarah. Yeah, Sarah won't tell us what's up until we have a sword, a shield, and armor, because you aren't going out adventuring dressed like that, young man. However, we can get a pretty good head start on our equipment, and I'll be showing you how. Pim the Trader, who gets a bit more sleazy in every iteration of his art. So the guy at the bar lost a ring and, well, Pim has it. Someone in town says that he picked it up off of the middle of the road and decided to just sell it in his shop. Buying the sapphire ring cost most of our gold, but, well, we'll be fine. This is enough to get the rest of our starting equipment. If you didn't buy and resell the ring, you'd have to do a bit of grinding to get the basic armor and shield. So this actually saves us a bit of time. Okay, now we can go and see what, Fortune Woman wants. I don't know nothing. Okay. Okay, so we have our first story quest, find the Books of Ys. One thing about Ys I and II at least is that the NPCs are actually fairly helpful, more or less right off the bat. By the way, you'll notice that we've gone up a level from doing that thing for Sarah and, returning the Sapphire Ring. That's because Ys I and II actually has story and event experience. Okay, we are now in the overworld, and there are a couple of things we can grab right away. By the way, you've noticed that I'm taking a lot less damage from monsters now that I've gone up a level, and have equipment. The thing about Ys I is that, Ys I and II is that this version, Chronicles Plus and Complete, are basically a new coat of paint applied to a game from 1987, so if you don't prepare properly, this game is gonna hurt you. Then may want to pay for that. And here's the Bestiary Potion. Drinking this will actually be a little bit helpful. It will give us a HUD, and we can see that Adol's class is Swordsman. And it'll also show the stats and stuff of monsters we kill as, we slay more of them. This is also how you fill in the Bestiary book, because you don't really have access to it unless you drink the potion. We're heading back to Minea Town because that golden vase will sell for a fair chunk of change for this point of the game to Pim, but we're gonna see if we can't wring any more money out of his greasy hide. Not for that price. Not for that price. One of the things that makes him a bit different from a lot of other traders in other RPGs is that it's actually possible to drive a hard bargain with him and get him to give you a discount or sell things to him for a higher price than you normally would. It's only about 10% each way. However, for Pim, it's nice to make him squirm. And besides, it's kind of revenge for the fact that he's gonna overcharge us for it back in... Yeah. You actually have to buy the golden vase back from him come Ys 4. And we can upgrade to the next tier of sword, which will be helpful for the next boss when we fight him. And there we go. So anyway, in the next video, we're actually going to start moving this thing forward properly. And I will be seeing you next video in Ys I and II. Bye!